It's time. It's time for stories. Welcome, everyone. Here's my line basket right here. Thank you very much. Listen, welcome. Welcome to our story slam of the month. Topic is secrets. I advise you not to tell me any of yours, because I'm like a sieve. It will run straight through my mouth and out into the world. Either one. But I know some of you have something you're going to tell them tonight. Our story slam is sponsored by Freetown Village and Storytelling Arts of Indiana. And if you want to tell them, tell.
It looks really good.
We have plenty of blank slips for you to fill out so that you can tell us a story about secrets. You need to know that this story should be 5 minutes or less. It should be true. But unless we see your nose grow, we will never know. Because I tell everybody, only the truth comes out of my mouth. I'd rather eat fried chicken than lie to you. You know what I mean? So tonight, our topic of secrets, I did not put the name in the hat because I know that we're in for a good tale. But what happens at these sessions is that one good story leads to another. Wait. Remember, do not read or refer to notes, or else the judges will ding you. They'll be pretending to judge you. They'll be judging you all right. They'll be judging you using notes. But now, Greg from Maestro Organizing is going to start us off with the table. So come on over, Greg.
I don't know much of a tale. It's always great to be here, and so many showed up on a summer June day when everybody's on vacation. That is great. So it's great, yeah. So this is great to be here, and wanted to let you know that in the past 2 weeks.
No, she's calling you.
The drink. There's your drink.
Oh, hello.
Well, the secret's out. You're drinking. In the last 2 weeks, I have been in 3 garages, 3 bedrooms, a family room, a living room, 2 basements, and I know all of their secrets. But you know what? I don't tell the secrets. I keep the secrets. And the other place I've been in the past 2 weeks in the middle of all that was conducting on the stage of Carnegie Hall. I had 200 singers in a choir. And was doing that back and forth, and you know what? Every week is different for Maestro Organizing. So if you are in need of getting rid of some secrets in your house, of clutter, or you want to park your car in the garage before wintertime comes, all of that good stuff, I'm your guy, and I won't tell your secrets if there are any that I discover. So enjoy the night. I'm sorry I don't get to hear it tonight. We are going to a concert. And I think it's going to be a disaster because Ticketmaster's down, or even whatever it is, and nobody can get in. But anyway, I'm sorry I'm going to miss those. I'm going to try to get over to White River and do that. But thank you all for coming, and it's an honor to help make this happen. Thank you.
I'm scared. Listen. The theme for July is outdoor escapades. And we'll be back at Jamaican Breeze. We've got a patio, the weather's good, we'll be outside. Let me let you know a little secret. One time I was at Jamaican Breeze, it was my birthday, we were celebrating, and we eating well and packed up our food. but still we were sitting there on the patio. Little did we know that the restaurant had closed and people had gone home. We were still on the patio. So a good time to be had for all. But while we're talking about places to convene, if you have an idea of where we might go, let us know. Give Ellen a call, give Samantha a call, tell somebody tonight, because we're really outgoing about our places. So this is a free event, but you know we always take donations. And I promise you, if you text 44321 with SAI in the body of the text, then not only will you contribute to Freetown Village, but you will also contribute to Storytelling Arts in Indiana. Pinky swear, pinky swear. But right now, I'm going to call our first teller, because this secret has been burned deep, and it's time for it to come out. So Tammy, Shaka, come on down. I don't know what I'm drinking, but it tastes good.
I have a talent. A lot of you probably might have it too. But I have fallen more than most people you've ever met. Some big falls, some little falls. But I never get hurt. But first I'm going to tell you some of the falls I've done. And I'm thinking about it today and laughing to myself. I was in a jogging mood, and I'm jogging down the street, and I step in a hole right at Emerson and Washington. I fall and roll, and I get back up, and all these cars are looking at me, and I'm like, I'm okay. I'm okay. So another time I'm bicycling. Same corner, opposite side of the street, and I'm riding so fast, and I hit the cement, and my bicycle just went crazy, but when I landed, it was in the grass. Didn't it hurt? I'm like, 2 times on that intersection, I didn't get hurt. One time I was cleaning some gutters for somebody, climbed a 2-story ladder in Broad Ripple, and it was an old, rotteny ladder, and that ladder broke. And I zipped down, I mean so fast, it was insane. But when I got to the bottom, I just fell backwards, didn't get hurt. Another time, I was on a trip to South America. When you go on a trip there, they get you on a bus when you're sightseeing, and they want you to buy stuff. So first they take you to a silversmith. And I buy a little silver necklace for my daughter. And then the next stop, we're going to get the best bread in all the land. I didn't really want any bread, but I was like, I might as well go see the best bread. They want to show the oven that this bread is in. So I get off of the bus, and the sun is shining right in my face. I can't see a thing. And they open this big door so we can see this big oven. But they didn't move the little board that was keeping the door from swaying and stuff. So when I went to step, I just fell right into that oven room. But I didn't fall into the oven. But I didn't get hurt. I pulled up my pants legs. So all these people on the bus, none of them were spoken English. And I said, no boo-boos, no entries. And they were like, they didn't understand a word I said. So another time, this is the big fall, I was volunteering at Eagle Creek Park. And at Eagle Creek, they have a bird sanctuary. And it's 5 stories high, and it's 60 feet tall. The girl that was spotting me was 12 years old. And I had all the apparatus on. I had half gloves on, leather half gloves. And I climbed over the edge because the guy said, and we were timing other people. And there was nobody coming. And he said, "Do you want to do it?" And I said, "Yeah, I did it a long time ago. I forgot how to do it." And I climbed over that railing. And it had rained for 2 weeks. The ground was like steaming. And I climbed over, and that little girl ran when I started falling. Because you're supposed to let go. You're supposed to let go. Well, I didn't let go. I was trying to hold on, and oh, it was burning. I had like 11 blisters on my hands. I was like, oh my God, it's so painful. But anyway, she ran, so I had nobody to help me. And I went, bam! I didn't get hurt. Till later. Later, a week later, my son was 5 years old. I was so sick. I was so sick. And he brought me something. Anyway, he helped me out. I got distracted. There you go. Anyway, I found out I had kidney stone. When I hit, I knocked the kidney stone loose. That's why I was so sick. But I didn't get any bruises. I fell. Most people die at 12 feet. I just fell 60 feet, 5 stories. Anyway, so you know what the secret is? To not getting injured? Take judo. I took judo when I was a little kid, and the first thing they teach you is how to fall. And I was actually a falling national championship. Actually, I really was. The whole United States, best faller. And I said, I think I may be world champion falling that far and not get hurt. I remember there was some firemen there, and they said, "You did a perfect fall." I said, "I know."
I think we should do a whole evening on falling person. Because that's a really good story to tell. Thank you so much, Tammy. Listen, it's not too late to sign up. And I know you've noticed the yellow slips on your table. Are they out there yet? Not yet. Okay, we'll talk about that later. Why y'all fold these up so teeny tiny, thinking I'm gonna pick them? What's up with that?
Pour down.
Hold on. So right now, hey, I know we're in for a story now. Chap Flack is the next person who's going to tell.
At my college reunions, a pickup alumni choir sings the memorial for departed friends and classmates. And last time that meant honoring my old roommate. And that left me the last living in a story never told. When he left for that party late senior year, he would have told me if he even thought he might bring someone back. You don't room together for 3 years and not work these things out. Now, we had stacked both beds along the south wall in the second room, moved everything else out in the front room to look all furnished and civilized. And from my top bunk, my head by the east window, I couldn't see in that room. Whoever that was with him, this was no hour to be chatting and making me off. He had been in relationships and out while I knew him, not frivolous ones, but it was from the out times that I learned he was a compass dial. There was really one magnetic north if she would have it. And I met her myself, first year, first week, and I completely approved, but it was more up to her. And years with no miracle there. So, rudely awakened, I knew his voice right off. I was too foggy at first to pick out hers. miracles happen. And you'll question my judgment for not clearing out of the room, but think how scared I would be of distracting or jinxing them, or giving her the idea this was some typical scene, or that I somehow expected she'd stay the night, or just think my clothes were in my dresser in that room. Rather than make so flamboyant an exit, I managed to tune them out and fall back asleep until my bunk was moving. Now you'll question my judgment again, but take the reasons I just gave you and turn them up to 11, and that's how I settled on trying to still seem asleep. But wait, in a small room with 2 sounds of keen breathing, it would be way wrong to hear 3. What way would I find to distract myself? My superpower, some will tell you, is in going so analytical that nothing else is happening with me for as long as I'm solving some challenge. Like what? Like top bunk, dark room, you're blind. Sounds though. Newton's laws. Every shift of mass in the bunk below shifts you the other way with some force. Reconstruct the picture. My bunk kept jolting lightly eastward as if my roommate was relocating inch by inch westward. That gave a direction, but not until her breathing changed were there landmarks or a scale. Expecting another such moment, could I project just when? Right on cue, I was flung hard to the west as she coiled up tight at the head of the bed and said, "Why on earth would you want to do that?" Second miracle comes here. I think I would lose my words in a fix like that, but he kept all his. He took that question and soared with it. Gracious, dramatic, tender, lyric, practical, rustic. How long had I shared rooms with Cyrano and not known? But if you've ever answered a question that was rhetorical, you know she had stood up to gather her things. And on the way out, she said, "I thought you cared for me. You just want someone to do that with." Third miracle goes here, but there wasn't one. I did not spring from my bunk and run naked through the snow behind her, spilling all I knew of his years of feelings for her. I stayed warm and dry where he could think I was still sleeping soundly and not crying at all. And I never breathed a word while they lived. If there's a hereafter, to wish them together would be to erase the ways their 2 lives later went. But maybe their paths crossed? And of course he remembers just what he said that night, and I'd like to think she smiles and says, "Well,
Lord, you gave me flashbacks, chap. Flashbacks. But that is something you should work out with your roommate. You know, that should not be a surprise. Even if you have to go downstairs and sit in the lounge, until time is up. Lay on the couch until morning. Go to your friend's room. But I would have never endured that. Thank you, Chad. But our next teller of secrets is Mike Hobbs. Mike, come on down. This is gonna be good.
I hear the people in the back going, "Oh." As some of you have heard me tell stories over the time, you realize that I grew up in what could be called a complicated family, to say the least. So I have lots of secrets. And it's how you deal with the secrets that determine what sort of an adult you are. But also, how you deal with the secrets determines how you also deal with the rest of your family and the people around you. An example. I'm in college and I got off the phone with the FBI where they were looking for mom. And, true story. And one of my frat brothers says, "Who was that? Hey, has the pizza arrived yet?" He's like, "No." "Oh, let's go get it." I became an expert on how to divert people. How to get people to talk about themselves, which is what I truly love doing anyway. I love hearing people talk about themselves. So, you're in high school and your best friend comes over and says, "Hey, what are those noises upstairs?" "Oh, I don't know. Are there any cookies over there?" And he's like, "Why is the principal's car in your driveway?" "Why don't we check out the barn? I think we've got some new chicks out there. You want to see some chicks, right?" Well, that's the sort of youth I had. Maybe we'll come over and go, "Why were the police there last night? Are they looking for your brother again?" I'm like, "Oh, is your kid home from college? How's he doing? How's the score in the last game he was in? Isn't that great?" Or, here's another one. Somebody did a DNA test and they want to talk to you about the results. Well, what they don't realize is you know what the results are already, and you've known since you were in high school. Because we did blood typing in high school. So, oh, I'm sorry. They want to do what? I can't. I'm afraid of needles. I can't prick my finger. Why don't we do something else? So that's the sort of individual I became. I was really, really able to get people to tell me stuff. For example, I don't know what the temperature is supposed to be today. Do you know what it is? I don't know where we're supposed to park, but you might ask that person over there. I don't know why my car smells like marijuana. Did we drive through something? So that's the sort of person I became. But at the same time, it helped me in a few other ways. An example, I'm at a convention, and somebody comes up to me and goes, "Hey, aren't you that guy from that video on Pornhub?" That's dinner call, isn't it? They just called me a dinner call, right? "Oh, what's for dinner?" So I am now able to virtually divert anybody from anything to do anything I want without answering a question. For example, have I told you how old I am? Have I told you my birthday? Have I told you my favorite color? How much do you actually know about me? But I know a lot more about you. Thank you.
I'm on to you now, Mike. I'm on to you now. Oh, hilarious. Listen, there's still time to sign up if you want to sign up to tell a story about secrets. We got plenty of secrets. We got plenty of ears willing to listen. Samantha's got some blank paper and a pen. It's never too late for them. But right now, one of my favorite tellers is about to take the stage. Tracy Wynn. Come on today. It was folded up real tight. But I found it.
hard one for me because secrets are just that, secrets. And if I told a secret, I would be telling a secret that I should not share that someone told me. So I thought about myself and I said, well, I will tell a secret fantasy that I have. Now, unbeknownst to my husband and anyone else, the government relies on me to do special tasks that only I can do because I'm the one that has this expertise in this area. So the government calls me one day and I tell my husband I have to fly to London because I have to do whatever it is I have to do, have fun. So I pack my bags and I go to the airport and I go to London. I don't know who my counterpart is going to be on this mission. But when I find out, oh my goodness, it's Idris Elba. I have to keep my cool because I cannot let him know that I'm excited to be working with him on this mission. Now we have to go to this fancy ball where all these dignitaries and special people are going to be because we have to retrieve this document that our government needs very badly. So we dress up in our finest clothes and we're at this fancy ball and we're dancing and I'm just so excited and I'm forgetting all about the mission. And he tells me, we have a break now. We have to go upstairs to where this document is being held. And I say, okay. And we go upstairs and we make our way to this room. I am an expert at picking locks to get inside this office room that we need to get into. We get inside, we look around. Oh, we're so close, I can smell him. He smells so good, he looks so good, but I have to keep my cool because we have to get this document. We retrieve the document, we find it. We take this document, we sneak our way out of that room and back downstairs to the party. Soon the party is over, we have the document, we've accomplished our mission, but we're hungry. We need to go eat. So we have this late night dinner. Nothing happens, we just have a dinner. We drink wine and we talk and we laugh about all the different missions we've shared or not shared. And I'm just so excited, I don't know what to do with myself. Well, the only thing I can do is fly back home to my unknowing husband who has no idea that I've been off on a secret mission with Idris Elba.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, we can go with some Idris. All right, thank you. Now, I'm warning you. I know you thought about another secret you might want to tell. I got plenty of time. We got pencils. We got empty forms. You too could tell a story about secrets. You know, my cousin in Las Vegas called me a couple of days ago. And we found each, well, she found me because she found out that we were related through, is it Ancestry.com and the DNA test. She's really big on looking up our heredity. Well, when I did my grandfather's obituary, and I typed it out to take to the funeral home, and I read everything that was supposed to go in the obituary, and my cousin Linda, who lived in the small town of Canton, Mississippi, kept giving me all these names that were supposedly the children of my grandfather. Because my grandfather did not drink, he did not smoke, he did not snack. He ate 3 meals a day, square meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But he loved women. That was his vice. So when she kept naming me all these names, I was reading to my Aunt Ruby, my church going, religious, sanctified Aunt Ruby. And she said, who are those people? I said, well, Linda told me this is one of the granddaddies. She said, take them damn people's name off that obituary. We don't know them damn people. So I took it off. So a couple of years ago, my cousin called me, and her grandmother was really upset that we had taken her name off the obituary. And the thing about it was, with a town so small as Kent, Mississippi, you knew they had to know all these people. So I told my Aunt Bernice, I said, listen, there was no harm meant. It was not done viciously or maliciously. It was just that my Aunt Ruby had said, we don't know them damn people. So I had to take it off. But come to find out that my Aunt Bernice would have been a few years younger than my mama. And that my mother and Bernice went to school together. And my mother would always see Bernice with her shoes on the wrong foot. And my mother would stop her, bend down, put her shoes on the right foot, and try to teach her how to tie her shoes. So she knew who my mama was. So I explained how I went to Las Vegas, met my cousin, went to Thanksgiving dinner, talked to my Aunt Bernice, found out who my mama. My mama was a school teacher. My granddaddy got around, let me tell you. But I do know that she called me last week to remind me to say, ooh, I've been digging in Ancestry.com and doing the DNA, and I found us some more cousins. We got white people in our family. I said, girl, I could have told you that. Well, this cousin lives in Alabama, and she found so many cousins, she was so overwhelmed. I'm waiting for the next report. But I'm going to tell you, my mother used to always say, what's done in the dark will come to the light. And our next comer is Gloria Danielson. Come on down.
So I went to see the movie Argo about 10 years ago. Argo is about 6 Americans who were in Iran when there was kind of an uprising. And I didn't know about this when I went to the movie. I knew it had good ratings, and I knew it had Ben Affleck, and that was enough for me. And so in this movie, there's a scene where these 6 Americans are on this van, and the townspeople are surrounding them. There's an angry mob, and they're beating on the windows, and they're shouting, and they try to push the van over. And as I'm watching this, I could hardly breathe, and my heart rate shoots up, and I'm practically paralyzed. I am just terrified. And what I realize is that while my eyes are watching this movie, my brain is replaying memories of a secret that I had forgotten about 40 years earlier. I'm a 17-year-old high school senior, and I'm in Haiti. It's the first time I've been out of the country, and Haiti is not my first choice. But my friend said, hey, I know a church group that's going to Haiti, and I think they're going to let us go with them, and wouldn't that be a great summer vacation? And I said, okay, and so here we are. We're on a mini bus, and for some reason, we've stopped. And I can see the bus driver is using all of his strength to keep them from coming into the front, but I can hear people trying to get in the back. And they're all around, and I can hear them banging on the windows. They're banging on my window, and they're shouting, and it's so loud, it's deafening. And then I can feel it. The bus starts to rock. It's gentle at first, and then it's more and more violent. I don't know what they're saying, but our local guy does. Get us out of here! They need to kill us! The next thing I remember is being herded into a corner of a hall of an airport with by men in camouflage carrying big guns. And they herd us in, and they stand around guarding stone face, and they tell us we can go home as soon as the U.S. meets their demands. So we wait, and eventually we're allowed on a plane, and we're escorted out of Haitian airspace by U.S. military jets. My parents meet me at the airport, and they don't say a word about what happened. They don't even ask me if I'm okay. So they must not know. I must not be supposed to be telling anything. And so I grew up in a culture of family don't tell. And so I didn't. Not a word, not to anyone. I forgot about it until I saw that movie. And then I had lunch with my parents 2 weeks later, and I said, you know, I saw this movie that reminded me of a time in Haiti that was really frightening, and my mother interrupted and said, you were scared. What about me? Did you ever think about how I felt? And I was like, what? She said, well, we heard about it on the news. I called the station, and I said, that's my daughter you're talking about. She said, we didn't know if you would ever come home. We didn't know if you would see you again. So there's a couple things wrong with this picture. Like, one, I had this traumatic event on foreign soil, and two, my parents know about it, and neither of us say anything. And the other thing is, this big secret that I thought that I'd been carrying, the whole world knew. It wasn't a secret at all. So now that it's not a secret, and I can talk about it, I have realized that that event actually affects how I interact with the world. And so I've been able to get professional help to deal with that event. And it must be helping because I've been to 26 other countries now and counting.
Thank you so much. Well, do I need to remind you that you can still sign up and tell a story? So right now, we're going to hear one from Kelly Foster. Hey, Kelly.
So, when I was thinking about what secret I was going to tell, I was kind of like considering a couple of them, but last Sunday was Father's Day, and I was kind of connecting a big event that happened in my life. It happened in 2017, which was kind of like my Britney year. So, like, people who are my age know what I mean when I say my Britney year. Like, you know, Britney Spears had a real hard time a couple of, 10 or so years ago, and that was my Britney year. Lots of stuff happened. So I kind of like forgot this little thing that happened, but wanted to relate it back to Father's Day about 6 years ago, actually. So for Father's Day, my sister and I had talked about how it would be kind of cool to get my dad an Ancestry.com test. A lot of Ancestry-related stories tonight. So my sister had gotten one. She really liked it. She kept updating me about the things she had found, relatives she had traced back to a certain part of the German-speaking part of Strasbourg in France, and just like interesting connections she had made that she was talking to me one day about it, and she was like, Kelly, I honest to God, like, I don't know how much interest I actually have in trying to form memorable and like lasting connections with my seventh cousin. Like, I just don't know that I'm interested. I'm like, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But she felt obligated to answer every one of them. So we're sitting around. It's actually Easter Sunday, the following year. We're sitting around, getting ready to have Easter dinner. The deviled eggs are on the table. You can see them, sprinkled with paprika, ready to be consumed. A totally normal day ahead of us. But my sister calls my mom. I can always tell who she's on the phone with by the tone of her voice. It's something that I've gotten very good at over the years. So I hear her answer the phone, and then I hear her say, something about the Ancestry.com test. My sister has some news. And then I hear my mother say, well, how could she be your first cousin? That's kind of strange. And color me in rapture. I'm like, oh, but I mean, I'm finding some business. I got some business now. So I run on in there, and I'm standing. I'm positioned myself between where my mom's sitting, and then I can see my dad still in the other room. And she looks at me, and then she shouts between rooms to my father, which is something he hates. Bob, this lady's on Carrie's Ancestry.com, so she's her first cousin. Do you know anything about that? And my father laces his hands together in his lap and doesn't move and doesn't say anything. And we know this is weird because my mom has no siblings. My dad has one older sister and a much younger brother. Both of them are childless. They've never had children. It was kind of implicitly known that my aunt couldn't have children. So we're very perplexed by this. So my mom gets more information. I'm trying to lean in. I'm trying to listen. I'm really trying to get the details. Can't hear. So I'm like, come on, shout. Say, let's go. More info. So then my mom shouts, hey, this lady says she's 55. She was born in Miami, Florida. And her birth mother's name is Lisa. Well, that's my aunt's name. And I started to think about where did my family live in 1967? I had a great aunt who lived in Pompano Beach, Florida. It's coming together in my head. So my mom shouts again, what is going on? What do you know anything about this? And my dad, to his credit, remains a wall, an implacable, silent wall. So I'm looking at her, I'm looking back at him, I'm like sweating by this point. I'm like, oh my God, it's happening, everybody. We're becoming one of those people. We're becoming an ancestry family. So I look at my mom and she's listening, and my dad's giving away nothing. And I'm looking at him and he's still not moving, still not speaking. So my mom pulls the final card that she had. She says, okay, Bob, Carrie, who's my sister, she's gonna call your sister because this lady wants to get in touch with her. And finally, sweating, looking from both of them, finally, he says, exasperated, sighs a little, well, maybe I better be the one that calls her. And just like that, a 50-year secret came tumbling out. It was in the daylight now, and we were all shocked. And I'm happy to say that my cousin, we've met my cousin now. She's wonderful. She's lovely. She looks just like my aunt. They love all of the same things. It's been a really great experience for them. I was kind of listening to Miss Gloria talk about how don't talk about anything, and I think that was just like a blanket thing that people did back then because, my dad knew that she was gone. She was there and then she was gone and didn't know where she went. And she came back and he knew when she left she was pregnant and when she came back she wasn't. And he was told never to talk about it again. And, that is until the DNA test, home test craze swept the nation. So, but as for the test that my sister and I got for my dad for Father's Day, when he got it initially, he shoved it in a drawer and kind of forgot about it. He did eventually get it back out, but not to take it. He gave it away because there are only so many revelations that one family can take on Easter Sunday.
I know I have a friend who's really good at doing her family genealogies. Don't you do this? Have you done this? Have you done? I said, listen, I don't want to send my people to jail. I don't, it's too much. At any rate, that was great. Thank you so much for sharing. It's not too late, people. Hey, Sam. Oh, Sam. Secrets.
Now we're going to get it.
All right, so in 2016, my husband and I decided there was no better way to celebrate just having our wedding other than buying a house. About a year later, I woke up in the middle of the night and I had used the restroom, and as I glanced out the window, I saw a hooded figure in the backyard between my house and our neighbor's house, hunched over. And it frightened me. It was 3 a.m., nobody should be in our backyard. And so I texted my neighbor and I said, "There's somebody in our backyard, go look." And she said, "You idiot, it's me." And I said, "Why are you in the backyard? It's 3 a.m. and it's January." And she said, "I found something." Come to find out that our neighborhood cat, we lovingly called Pretty Kitty, was not just adored by us, but also a male kitty. And she had 6 kittens. From that day on, we referred to her as Mama. Through the years, Mama has been through a lot, and so have we. I've gone from despising these now 5 cats, we lost one, to absolutely wanting to just smoosh them with all the love that I can give. Every day, I come home and I just can't wait to see my kitties. They're still outside. Somehow we have inherited them from our neighbor who now lives in Illinois. And I'm a dog person through and through, but man, I got some cat person in me now. So, the thing about Mama is, though, she is a tough cookie. But for some reason, every summer, for about a week or 2, she just kind of disappears. And it's one of those things, if you have an outdoor cat, you know. There's a risk that comes with having an outdoor cat. Sometimes they just don't come back. So every year, Mama goes out to what I like to refer to as the annual kitty convention. Not sure where that's held. And I always brace myself for her maybe not coming back. Well, this year it's been a little different because my daughter now also adores these 5 outdoor kitties. After a few days of feeding them and not seeing Mama show up, my daughter looks at me and she said, "Mommy, where's Mama?" I said, "I don't know, honey. Sometimes, kitties, they go places," and I'm trying to think to myself how I'm going to bring the idea of death to this 2-year-old. And she goes, "Mama sleeping?" Well, she could be, in a way. And, days pass by, and still not seeing Mama. And I tell my husband, I said, "I think this is the year. Unfortunately, Mama's been around who knows how long in this neighborhood. She's had a good run. I think her time has come." So last night I was putting my daughter to bed, and all of a sudden I hear the front door swing open, and my husband runs up the stairs and goes, "Mama's back, Mama's back." And a huge sigh of relief came over me, and my daughter looks at me confused. Like, of course she's back. She's just been sleeping for 2 weeks. But that's the thing about Mama. I don't know where she's been. I don't know where she goes. And honestly, I don't know the secret to her living in an outdoor neighborhood, barely assisted just by me and my husband for the last so many years. And that's okay. I don't need to know her secrets. I do know one thing though. Every day, no matter what, I will still show up with food and water for her.
Yes, Mama's hard. Well, anybody need a form to fill out so you can tell another story about secrets? We got plenty of time. We got plenty of blank slips now. I'm really not an animal person. If you can't kill it and cook it in the skillet, I don't know it, okay? That's no secret, and my friends all know this. Like my brother has the nerve to come to my house and he brings this dog with him, and he knows I'm upset. And then he gets mad when I don't want the dog to come into my sunroom to cool off. At any rate, my family knows how I feel. I would never hurt an animal, but I'm just not an animal person. Now, I remember one day my brother Keith brought home a puppy, a little brown puppy. He had on a brown coat, a brown hat, brown pants, and had a brown puppy stuck in his pocket. And my mother kept telling my father to tell him to take the dog home. She was too young to be away from her mother. But no matter what he said. So my mother named the dog Cinderella. Cinderella Bloomfield, okay? And that name stuck. And my mother would go travel, she got ready to pack her suitcase, the dog would fall into the suitcase. If my father tried to go anywhere near my mother, the dog would growl at my father. So Cindy became a fixture at our house. But I think one time too many, my mother was in the kitchen cooking dinner. My father thought it was for him, but it was for the dog. So one day, Cindy just up and disappeared. That was mean of my father. But we finally found out decades later that he had taken Cindy over to the McIntoshes. And the McIntoshes had been family friends for a long time, but I don't think they knew how much Cindy meant to my mother. But that's the last we ever heard about Cindy. So that was a secret I finally found out after my mother died, that that's where Cindy had disappeared to. I don't know why I told that story, but it was a secret until now. Don't tell nobody. Our next teller is Nyanja Rapp. Come on down.
Hello, everyone. I did not come here tonight to tell you any secrets about myself, but rather why you should not tell me your secrets. Ever since I was a kid, I was pegged by my siblings and my cousins as the tattletale. And it could be often heard if my grandmother was upstairs and we were all over her house playing, you could hear my voice saying, "Grandma!" And you can sure believe that right after that was going to be me telling on someone. So you shouldn't tell me your secrets. And fortunately or unfortunately, that followed me into my adulthood. So let me set the stage for you. I had just moved back to Indiana, and years ago I was a teacher by trade. And I had begun working at this lovely little school that had just started. It was a charter school, very small, close-knit, and all the teachers, we were friends. And I was the it girl. I mean, we would come over to my house, we'd have card parties, we'd just have a ball. So everybody was considered to be everybody's friends. Like, it was just a utopia. And the next year, the school grew a little bit bigger. Like, they started off with, say, 4 classrooms, and then they doubled it the next year to 8. And so that meant that they had to hire new teachers. And so nothing had to change. We were going to welcome those people into our fold of friendship, and the community would just continue to grow. Well, one thing about this school is before the school year started, we had what I call a pep rally for teachers. And it took place, the school corporation would fly us out to Rhode Island, and we stayed on a college campus, and there were speakers and just all kinds of fun events that were designed to prepare teachers for the upcoming year. But the fact that it was on a college campus made some people believe that they were back in college. We took Rhode Island by storm. I mean, we were at restaurants, we were at bars, we were just living our best lives, right? People were drinking and passing out in the hallways, and I mean, it was parties going on, all manner of foolishness. Well, there was this one guy, he was new to our school this year, and I thought, I don't know if he's gonna have a job when we get back. It was his birthday the night that we decided we would all go out to dinner. And there was a lady who probably could have been, maybe not his mom, but for sure, his older sister. And she was married, and at the birthday dinner, it was like the principals and the teachers, we all were gonna do dinner together, and then we would go out and kind of do our own thing. Well, at this birthday dinner, it's a long table full of us, and the lady who could have been his mom / older sister gets up because it's his birthday. They brought him out a cake that had whipped cream on it. She gets up, comes around the table, takes some whipped cream, puts it on his cheek, and licks it off. And I was like, she's married. That's a secret I probably should know about. So I'm a little disgusted, and so were two other people. And we decided we're going to get up and this dinner is over. It's time for us to leave and go find our own party. So we get up and we're walking downtown to Rhode Island, and we find this nightclub that has, and what I didn't tell you is that the reason I call it a pep rally for teachers, because there were schools from Rhode Island, from Detroit, from like all over the US, and we are meeting these people. And we go into this club, and there were some teachers in there that was from a school in Detroit that we had befriended earlier. And the guy whose birthday it was, we'll call him Jagga, that's his real name. He had apparently met a young lady that was a teacher in a school in Detroit. And we get in the club, and she comes up to us, and she's so excited to see us, and the first thing out of her mouth is, "Where's Jagga?" And I'm like, oh, I guess we're not really friends at all. You just want to know where Jagga is. So I called Jagga's phone to say, you have a band club, you should probably stop by this club so that you can see her. Long story short, he ends up at the club that night. There's women dancing all over him. I mean, he is living his best life. And I'm thinking, he's probably not gonna have a job when we get back. So we get back, we make it through the conference, we get back to Indianapolis, and there was one teacher who, she had gone the year before, we called it the Big Bang. She had gone to Big Bang the year before, but she didn't go that year. And so all of us, our little teacher friends, were sitting at the same table in the cafeteria, having our lunch while all of our students are kind of around us. And she goes, she was like, well, how was Big Bang this year? You guys haven't said much about it. And I just started laughing because I've got all these secrets to tell, right? And she asked me something about Jack, and I said, oh my goodness, he was living his best life. I mean, girls were chasing him, and he's like, no. And she's laughing it up, and she's like, no, tell me more. So I'm like, yeah, he's laughing it up. He's sandwich dancing, or he's getting sandwich dance. He's got somebody licking whipped cream off of his face. And another teacher is like, he keeps moving around in his seat, but the leg or the arm of the chair kept hitting me in my leg. And I'm like, Eric, stop moving around. You are hitting my leg. And I'm continuing to tell her the story, and she's laughing it up. She's like, really, tell me more. So I'm telling her, like, from every single detail from Friday all the way till Sunday. And then lunch is about over. It's time for us to go collect our kids, and we're walking out the door. And Eric, who had also not gone to Big Bang, but was a friend, he had worked with us the year before, and we were walking out. He and I were in the back, and Courtney and Jagga, Courtney, let's call her Courtney, because that's her real name. They're walking out in front. And Eric grabs my hand, and he said, Leandra, they've been trying to keep it a secret, but Courtney and Jagga are dating, and you just told a lot. So at this point, I am mortified, and I feel like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to be that person. So I go to Courtney, and I was like, why did you trick? Like I wouldn't have told you all this. And she says, oh no, it's good. It really is good. And I go to Jagga, and I'm like, Jagga, I am so sorry. I did not know I was betraying her trust. But really, like if you were dating her, that's the way you were carrying on. And I don't think this part is a secret. They ended up getting married, but they're not married today. Thank you.
So you would have told something else, right? Is there anybody else with a story to tell? Anybody? This is not time to bring out the yellow slips, because if we do a drawing today, we will give you a copy of the book that these walls contain. Our next session will be in July. Do I know what day it is?
July Slam.
Mm-hmm.
It is at Jamaican Breeze, yeah.
But do I know the dates I started?
It is July 19th.
July 19th, that's my cousin's birthday, bless her in heaven. Listen, whoever sent me this drink, it was good, let that be no secret, thank you very much. The topic, outdoor escapades. And I'm thinking about some escapades that I know about that happen outdoors. That could be dangerous. But they're no children, so you know, I don't know how X-rated it could get. At any rate, if you decide to make a donation, text 44421 to Storytelling Arts of Indiana, and we promise you that those proceeds will be split half and half. Right now, if you have an idea of where we could meet, a crowd about this size or a little larger, let us know. You got a backyard you want us to come to? You got a food truck you want to pull up in the back driveway? Hey, we're game. At any rate, wherever you want us to go, let us know. I don't have any more secrets to tell today, but I do know that if you fill out these little yellow slips, we will collect them and we will pull them out. Again, 44321 is the text to Storytelling Arts. Put SAI in the body of the text, and hey, who knows what might happen. We're particularly interested in finding spaces on the west side and on the south side, so the sky's the limit. You know, Daniel's Vineyard would be a good place to go. That's a little far from me. And the wine slushies are pretty good. I can vouch for those. Daniel's Vineyard. It's in McCoysville, though. That's really not in the city. You know, sometimes I get upset when I have to drive too far to tell a story. I'm really going to tell you that now. And then if I can't find nowhere to park, that's another nail in the coffin. But at any rate, outdoor escapades, and there's time for you to have an outdoor escapade before next July. All right, are we ready with anything? The results, another drink, more forced orders. My sweet potato waffle fries were delicious.
Thank you.
Okay. Drum roll, please. Dun, dun, dun. And we'd like to thank our scorekeepers, our judges, and our timekeeper. Our third place winner is Tracy Wynn. Congratulations. Our second place winner is Leandra Radford. Congratulations. And our first place winner, and I can't remember her last name, is Gloria. We will give you checks before you leave here tonight, but we do want to take a picture with you so you can put it on our Facebook page. Now, do you remember the topic of our next one?
Yeah, very good.
Outdoor escapades. Go to McCormick Street, go to Turkey Run, go to Fort Benjamin Harrison. You know, there could be some good stories coming from these outdoor escapades. The last time I was at Fort Benjamin Harrison, it was dark and everybody left me. I got lost in the park trying to get out. It was almost as bad as the time I got locked in Crown Hill Cemetery.